Joining our discussion now is Democratic Senator Adam Schiff of California, new member of the Senate Judiciary Committee. It seems rather obvious that these two positions are in conflict. Pam Bondi claiming that she will review all of Donald Trump's pardons for January 6th. Donald Trump already saying he intends to do them in the first hour after he's sworn in on Monday.
Yes, there's no way to reconcile those two.
She can't do it?
No, no one could do that. I think she wanted to give a generic answer that would sound pleasing. I will go on a case-by-case basis, but not acknowledge, well, the president's going to just issue a series of hundreds and hundreds of pardons on day one, so I guess I won't be able to do that after all. This was a pattern that played out throughout the hearing. Generic statements, unwilling to back up those generic statements when it came to any specific.
So this is your first Senate confirmation hearing. What did you learn about this process today?
Well, the way it has, I guess, devolved is you try to say as little as possible during your confirmation. You try to be as generic as you possibly can. Don't give any specifics. Don't commit yourself to anything. And in this case, the cardinal rule was do not say anything to upset Donald Trump. So using that standard, she couldn't say who won the 2020 election. She couldn't say whether there was massive fraud affecting the outcome of the election. She couldn't say that she would even preserve the evidence in the January 6th investigation. She couldn't even make that commitment. She couldn't make any commitment that she thought Donald Trump might not like. And after this Supreme Court decision that gives him essentially immunity to commit crimes absolute when it comes to the Justice Department, to have an attorney general who can't say no to him, can't even tell him unpleasant truths like, you lost the election in 2020, Mr. President, that's a prescription for disaster.
So one of the things I noticed procedurally, and these are things I care about because I know how they can matter in confirmation hearings, is that Chuck Grassley, who's the oldest member of the United States Senate and certainly the oldest chairman, he's the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, now Republican, he was there back when these things were run in a reasonable way. And he allowed a second round of questioning today, which was not allowed with Pete Hegseth. In the past, senators were allowed in confirmation hearings often as many rounds as they wanted. It's just as long as there's a senator who has more questions, go ahead. But at least you got the second round, which is less protective of this nominee than they were yesterday with Hegseth.
Yes, and all that is a subject of negotiation.
Yes.
We negotiated how many rounds, we negotiated how many minutes per round. We asked for more minutes, we got less than we wanted. So all of that is the subject of a negotiation, but in that negotiation, when you're in the minority, you don't have a lot of leverage. So we use what leverage we can, and we got as much opportunity to question the witness as we could.
But the outcome in these two hearings suggests that, well, in the Hegseth thing, they knew he has to be protected a lot more than Bondi has to be protected. That we think Pam Bondi can actually ride through two rounds of questions, and she has enough skill at talking about these things and deflecting, whereas Hegseth, we need to get him off the stage as fast as possible. One round, that's it.
I think that's right, and there are also a lot more vulnerabilities when it comes to Hegseth. His mismanagement of the veterans organizations, his allegations of sexual assault, of excessive alcohol or alcoholism, and so there were a lot more material, and his complete lack of experience to manage an agency the size of the behemoth that is the Defense Department. So there was a lot more for Democrats to work with in terms of his background, his inexperience. Bondi has experience. She was an attorney general in Florida. She's tried cases. With Bondi, the issue wasn't her experience. It wasn't her personal background. With Bondi, the issue was, okay, the president is entitled to name a friend or even a loyal supporter. But when push comes to shove, when that loyalty conflicts, as it will conflict with your oath of office, with your duty to the Constitution, the country, will you buckle? That's really the question. And on that, not particularly satisfying answers.
Senator Adam Schiff, thank you very much for joining us here tonight. Really appreciate it. We'll be right back.